Hola, I'm Rach, and along with my husband John and son Alfie, we sold everything in the UK to start a new life here in sunny Spain. This channel is all about family life, week by week, sharing the highs and the hurdles. We are here to help with tips on tackling the digital nomad visa and Spanish bureaucracy and everything we have learnt along the way. If you are dreaming of moving here or love a good sunshine-filled story, we'll be sharing it all. So hit subscribe, grab a cuppa or a sangria and join us on this adventure. Hi everyone, welcome back to a new week here in sunny Spain. We've started off this week, well yesterday actually, with a little bit of a strange day. So as you probably will have seen on the news and in the newspapers, that yesterday Spain, and not only Spain, lots of other parts of Europe had no power, and that was one of us. So we actually spent yesterday with over 13 hours with no power. It started off, we woke up, normal day, normal working day, on the laptops, working away, and all of a sudden all the power went off. Okay, so power cuts, yeah, it's not unusual to have power cuts in certain parts of Europe, so we didn't really think much of it. However, we then realised we've got no mobile signal, we've got no internet, we've got nothing, and this is a little bit strange. How come the phone line's gone down? There was no access to call emergency services if we needed to. Obviously, we didn't need to, but then we started thinking, oh, this is a little bit worrying now. So we managed to get a call through, which was one of the only calls we got through to our friend in the UK, and just said, can you just please have a look online? We're not sure what's going on here. Previous to that, actually, one of the workmen outside had said the power is off in Madrid and Barcelona, so thinking this is a little bit strange. So we managed to get this call through, and our friend said, well, actually it's saying here that there's no power in the whole of Spain, there's no power in parts of France, there's no power at all in Portugal. And this is when we started to get a little bit panicked. So what could be causing all of this, and how long was it going to be on for? Nobody knew. So we walked to the shop, because that morning I would usually go to do my shopping. However, for some reason I hadn't gone that morning, so we didn't have a lot of food in the house, so we thought, well, we better just go have a look around, see if anyone knows what's going on, try and find out some news. Nobody knew anything. Everybody was like, we can't get a phone signal. We went to the supermarket, the queue was right round the shop, people buying food and water, and then it suddenly dawned on us that we couldn't get any cash out, and we'd got about €4, which was rather silly. And in hindsight now, we need to make sure that we've got a little bit of cash on us should this happen again. So we couldn't buy much. We bought some water. Everybody was buying the water up, but since yesterday I've learned the reason for that was because a lot of the water here is powered by a water pump, which obviously would be electric. Thankfully our water was still on at this point, so we thought we'd just get one bottle of water. Obviously we didn't want to buy all the water up and panic buy like that, just in case our water went off for any reason. So yeah, in the shop, the shops that were open, which wasn't many, because obviously there's no power at all for the refrigerators, for the tills, we managed to get some water and some bread, and that was it. Our money was gone. But people were buying bottles and bottles of water, clearing the shelf of bread, all the tin food starts going, and this is when the panic starts to set in slightly. But we kept saying, we need to be calm about this. Obviously we didn't know what the situation was, and we were worried, but there's nothing you can do in this situation. So we went for a little walk. Obviously we couldn't work. We went for a little walk. Everybody was still out. People were in the bars, even though the lights were off. People were sitting in the bars. There's a lot of tourists here in Benalmádena, so they were on their holidays, just having a drink and things. Obviously no food was being served because there was no electric to cook with. So yeah, people were just going about their day to day. And I just think because everybody couldn't work, I think a lot of people were just out on the streets, just kind of asking what is going on here, have you heard anything? And no one really knew what the situation was, because we couldn't get any phone calls out, we couldn't get on to see any news or anything like that. So a bit later on during the day we came home because we knew it was going to get dark. There's no street lights, and we've got building work outside, so it's, you know, we just want to make sure we was home. We managed to find some candles, thankfully, that the owner of the property had left here, which was really good. So we had a couple of candles, and we had quite a cozy evening with our candles, having ice cream and cake for our tea, because the ice cream was melted and I wanted to eat it before it got off, and we didn't have much more in the house. So yeah, we went to bed yesterday evening not knowing what the situation was, when the lights would come back on, and finally at about 1:30 in the morning the lights came on. All I heard was the whole street cheering. So yeah, I gave out a little cheer too. John woke up saying, "What is going on? The electric's back on, that's why we're cheering." So yeah, it was scary. It was quite frightening. I think the fact was not knowing what was happening. Thankfully today the power is restored. It has gone off a couple of times, however it's a lot more stable, and hopefully, you know, the situation is resolved. It's been said that it's some kind of atmospheric climate situation, which I'm not sure we'll ever really know what it is. Hopefully it's a situation that isn't going to continue, but yeah, it's looking good for today. We have got power, we're able to work, and I'm going to be able to go and do some food shopping. So yeah, we're just feeling grateful, and I think it makes you realise when you haven't got access to the phone or the news, or you're in a situation where you're not sure what's going on. I think it just kind of makes you realise. And the neighbours have been really good. Everyone's sort of been saying, you know, if you need anything, just let us know. So yeah, there's a big community spirit here. Everybody was out last night, having a few drinks, and just in the streets, just chatting, which is really nice to know that you're in a community that kind of support each other. So anyway, that was our eventful day yesterday, and this week's video is John's birthday. So we're going to be celebrating John's birthday, trying to celebrate it Spanish style, and we'll take you along with us. We're also decorating Alfie's room. So if you'd seen in our previous videos, I spoke about how big Alfie's room is and what he wants to do and some of the ideas he had for it. So in this video you will see us decorating Alfie's room, all the things he's bought and how he's making it into a cozy space for himself. So I hope you enjoy this week's video. Please let us know in the comments section if you were affected by the power outage at all and how you found it. And also, I forgot to say, we are going to our first feria here in Spain, so Fuengirola, and there is a feria that lasts a week on there. So this is like they have a fun fair, they have like a carnival parade on to open it. So there's a lot of international countries that are all having a stall there. So there will be food, their own drinks, there will be music. So it's like an international food fair, which is going to be really exciting. Apparently it does get busy. However, I'm going to take you along and show you what our first feria was like here in Spain. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jonna.
To who?
John, happy birthday to you.
Hip,
Hooray!
hip.
Hooray!
Oh.
So today it's John's birthday and we have bought a cake. I'm just gonna cut it now and see what it tastes like. So John's decided, as it's his birthday, he's going to go for a birthday swim. This is the first time this year that we have been in the swimming pool, and I got a feeling that it's going to be cold. Even though the weather is around about 23 degrees today, I do think the water is going to be cold. So let's see how this goes. Here they go. Is it cold?
A little bit.
I think it's cold.
Dear God.
I think it's cold. This is definitely a good way to spend a birthday. In this beautiful pool. I've not been in myself yet. I'm going to wait until Saturday because apparently Saturday we're going to have temperatures of 30 degrees, so I'm going to wait until it warms up a little bit more. So John, you're having a nice birthday?
I'm having a nice birthday, thank you.
And you're having a pint of beer?
Pint of beer and a chicken jalfrezi.
So we've come to Basil Indian.
Best Indian locally to us.
Yeah, it's very nice food. We've been here before and we've really enjoyed it. So for your birthday you wanted to come for a curry?
I did.
So after a very fun night celebrating John's birthday, we are now heading off the next day to the paint shop to get the paint for Alfie's bedroom. So John is making a start on Alfie's bedroom. What is the plan, John?
We'll paint this all white first.
Paint the ceiling first.
Well, this bar all the way down in white.
Okay.
And then tomorrow we're going to do all the walls. Because the water's off at the moment, isn't it? We've got no water in the house.
So the noise you can hear outside, the drilling noise, is they've decided to dig up the road and replace the water pipe, so we haven't got any water at the moment, so it's not the best day to start painting. However, John's going to get the ceiling done and then we're going to start on the walls once the water is back on. So another day in Alfie's bedroom doing a transformation. So what's the plan today, John?
Doing the first coat on the emulsion. And then obviously maybe a second, well it definitely will be a second coat tomorrow once I've got this done.
So this is the paint we got. It's just slightly lighter than the paint that is already on the wall. However, I just think it's going to really brighten it up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Make it a lot more neutral because it's more of sort of a pinky, like a pinky off-white at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Whereas this is more of a cream just off-white.
Yeah.
So it's current situation in Alfie's bedroom. So I think John's going to get the first coat on of all the walls today. And then hopefully it won't take many coats to cover it and we can crack on with the next stage. So John has finished painting the bedroom off and it just looks so much more even. He's done 2 coats on it, and even though it's very, very similar colour, it just looks really fresh. He's really good at painting. It's something I'm not so good at, but yeah. So the next thing is we've got a bed on order. We're going to change the computer desk. We're going to get Alfie a new chair, and he's going to have some pictures that he's currently working on at the moment. We're going to get printed off, and then he's going to have a bit of a settee here with a little coffee table and a rug, and just make it more cozy. He's planning on putting a nice lamp there in the corner, like an overhanging lamp that will go there. And we also need to change this light because he really doesn't like this light. But yeah, ceiling's been painted, the walls have all been painted, and it looks really, really even. So the next thing that's been changed in Alfie's bedroom is we've put together this double bed that arrived today, and we're just waiting for the mattress to come. It comes with a headboard, so that's all ready. And then Alfie chose this for the wall. So because we've got such big walls in here to fill, let me just do that. He's chosen this piece just to give it a bit of colour. So we've got obviously one big main wall there, and this big wall here, and then above his bed he's chosen this piece of artwork, which really brings some colour into the room. Just makes the space feel a bit cosier. So everything has turned up at once, and this is a work in progress. How's it going, John?
Yeah, it's hard, but it's doing it.
Getting there. All the deliveries decided to all turn up today, so we're getting the mattresses here for the bed. So we're just leaving that for 48 hours to expand. The desk's up, and these little sofas just need fixing. This little coffee table is coming together.
So this is my room. Still not yet fully completed, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. So here you can see my bedroom. It is quite a big size, so we've managed to fit quite a lot in it. As you can see, I'm going for an orange, yellow, red kind of vibe. I've got some kind of tapestry on the wall there just to fill a big space, because these walls are massive, and they're massive and plain, so they need stuff on them. So I decided I'll buy something cheap and just slap it on the wall there. We've got the bed here. Originally I had like a child's bed in the corner, but we have changed it for a double bed, as you can see. And then here, it's like a little lounge area. I think the main thing was to kind of create like an apartment vibe, have my own space sort of thing. So here's the settee. It's a really cool settee because not only does it look like a settee, it also pulls apart into separate chairs. So that's really cool. And then a little table here, and these here are supposed to be what they call coasters. However, coasters are like €5, and they didn't have any that I liked. So these are actually cutting wheels, and I thought, well, they're a lot cheaper, and I'll just use them because they look quite cool. And they work very well for putting cups on and stuff. And then here we got the TV, a TV stand. As I said, this wall here is Mahusive, so gonna put some art on it, do something there. And then here's my little workstation where I sit doing my marketing stuff. Nice little vintage chair. I kind of like this kind of vibe. It looks like the president's chair or something. Not that I want to be the president, but it just looks quite cool. So here you can see everything sort of in the bedroom, and then you might already know that I've got a whole wall of mirrors. So if you watched one of the past videos where I showed this bedroom when it was empty, you'll see that there's a massive difference here, and I've still got some stuff to do. So what I want to do is put a nice rug here, kind of in this area there. I want to put a plant here that will stand up like this, like a 2 meter plant, and then I'm going to get a nice big light in this corner so it'll kind of shine over the whole thing with a cozy vibe and stuff, and then some art there on that wall as well. So that is what we've worked with, that's what we've got, and that's how it's going, and it's a lot better than it was before.
So as promised, we are visiting the Feria in Fuengirola. As you can see, the vibe is already getting started before we've even got in there. So I hope you enjoy coming along to our first Feria with us.
hasta el amanecer. Tus caderas moviendo, esa fiesta va a ver. Con el ritmo en la sangre, oh yeah. Sentimos el calor, las estrellas brillando, bailando con pasión. Fiesta, fiesta, hasta la madrugada. Fiesta, fiesta, no quiero que se acabe. La música nos lleva, oh yeah, nos hace vibrar, juntos en la pista, no vamos a parar. Sigue el ritmo, oh yeah, deja el corazón, suene la música, hasta que salga el sol. Fiesta, fiesta, hasta la madrugada. Fiesta, fiesta, no quiero que se acabe. La música nos lleva, oh yeah, nos hace vibrar, juntos en la pista, no vamos a parar. Sigue el ritmo, oh yeah, deja el corazón, suene la música, hasta que salga el sol. Fiesta, fiesta, hasta la madrugada. Fiesta, fiesta, no quiero que se acabe. Se va a dormir, nos unimos mil amores para juntos revivir. Buenas son en las estrellas con la luna de guardián. Ritmos sueltan sus centellas, todo el mundo a celebrar. Es la noche de la fiesta, corazones a latir. Que la música nos pierda, hoy nos vamos a sentir. Con guitarras en el viento y las luces de neón, somos danza en movimiento, cada paso una canción. Con el fuego que arde vivo en la...
We hope you enjoyed a taste of the Fuengirola Feria. It was amazing and it shows how Spain knows how to celebrate. Let us know what you think of Alfie's bedroom makeover, and please share any birthday traditions that we should try next year. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want more family life and expat insights from sunny Spain. Keep tuned for next week as we have special visitors arriving. Until next week, hasta luego!